Hi, it's Reasonable Reviewer, and I wanted to do a review today of this set of pouring paints. It's called Easy Marble. It says just add water. First, let me talk about the set itself, and I'll move it over so you can see. So it actually is all secondary and tertiary colors. I guess that's the first thing to notice there. So you're not going to get any primary colors in this particular set. They probably have other varieties of it. So I picked out, why is that important? Because I picked out 3 colors that I think will go relatively well together. Because if you mix things that are kind of on the opposite side of the colorimetric scale, you're going to get some browns and grays and kind of muddy look. So I wanted to avoid that. Additionally, the set doesn't come with any white or black, which are kind of standards in all your pours. Now, I'm intrigued by this set. Let me start off by saying, and I haven't done it before, so you're going to see all this live. I have not done this before with this set, but I'm excited because it's just add water. One of the issues you run into is miscibility when you start talking about pours. So I'm not using any fancy artist colors or anything, but there's these paints that I'm using are not 100% miscible with the pour media. So it just says add water, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got 3 containers. I have to put them in. I'll probably put down a base of a little bit of black on there along with these colors, and then pour white on top. Why am I going to do that? Well, the whole idea behind marbling is that you have medium of different densities, and the lighter ones will tend to float to the top, creating these really cool patterns. One more thing about marbling too. Now, what other kind of supplies do I have in hand? Well, clearly I got my water here. I've got stirring rods. I've got the containers to hold it, and some rags for a whole variety of reasons. Then I have the canvas here, and I've put some things on the side of it to hold it up. I put some gesso on this though. I did a couple layers of gesso, and the last layer I put on with used a putty knife to make sure that it was as flat and smooth a surface as possible. And then I'm going to put it in this well-loved box where I'm going to be able to pour without making a mess everywhere. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and mix, and you can watch what happens. There's 2 kinds, I think, there's 2 kinds of marbling projects. One is that you know pretty much exactly what you want to do in advance. You have a very clear idea, and those are sometimes repeat patterns or things that people know that folks like, or if you're doing commercial work. But it also lends itself greatly to the chaotic, hey, let's see what's going to happen, just by nature of how marbling works. And let me tell you, that's what we're doing today. We're just going to see what happens. So go ahead and watch along. I might speed parts of it up, and I don't know that I'll be doing a lot of commentary while I'm actually doing it. But we can see I'm going to be looking for 3 things. I'm going to be looking for miscibility. I'm going to be looking for intensity of the color, and then I'm going to be looking for that marbling effect. So those are the 3 things we'll talk about at the end. Okay, so first thing I would note is that there's no kind of measure or anything. And I would tell you I did get a little bit on my fingers and things. So just be careful when you use it. You might want to wear some gloves or something when you do this. All right, now I don't know how much water to add. It doesn't actually say, so I think we got to experiment a little bit. And I think what I'll do in each case is I'll just add, what does that, looks like 5 milliliters of water in each case. Seems like a good safe amount. All right, let's go ahead and mix it up. Not not clear what's going on here. Looks like there's some kind of oil in it already. Yeah, so again, this is a voyage of discovery for me. Yeah, there's clearly some kind of oil in it already. We'll go ahead and do the other two. I'm going to add less water because there's a pretty significant oil base in them, I think. And right up top, knowing that I'm going to potentially get it on my hands. Just to add water. Well, we'll add a less water this time and see what happens. Yep, you clearly get that kind of oil and water effect. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be applied directly. Well, we'll see. We'll experiment with that a little bit, actually. We'll see if you can just add it directly to the media. And then, in fact, that's what I'll do with this one. I'll just add it directly to the media. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll start with a little bit of black pour. I'll put that off on the side here. Okay. Oops. The good news is I have it in my container here, so it's not going to get all over the table. All right. Might need to go get some more rags, but that's okay. All right, and I'm going to spread that out a little bit. Nothing super fancy here. Just trying to get a good, even layer of it. We'll put the white on top. See what happens. Okay. All right, and we'll try this blue. And then I'll try this reddish color. Okay. So whatever I did there doesn't look like it was wildly successful. All right, I'm going to try pouring some white on top. So far, I get marbling out of the black. Let's try this purple color and see what happens with it. It's actually, let's see, sundown magenta. Let's see if we can get some kind of okay, so I think what we're learning through this process is that you apply it to the surface, and then if there's water around, because it's got oil in it already, it will go ahead and do some marbling. So yeah, we get a little bit. Obviously, you'd have to play with this a little bit to figure out what the right way to do patterns and things are. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of this, of the blue to it. And there's a good amount of water out there already because the other marbling things. I'm going to come back in a second and we'll see how it looks. I'm going to clean up a little bit here first. Oh, okay, and I'm back, and we'll take a look at what we've produced. So a couple things I learned in this process already. The first thing is that these don't work like traditional marbling agents. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a surface, and then you're going to want to put some water on the surface, or maybe some acrylics or something that has a significant amount of water in it already, and then let these guys do their work. So that's the first thing. So these are designed to be applied to the surface. They don't work in a traditional marbling way. And it's kind of an interesting pattern. I'm going to play with it a little bit. Obviously, I'll do more interesting stuff once I learn how it works 100%. Second thing is that I learned that these containers themselves, they don't squeeze or anything, they're glass. And you kind of got to just hold them up and let them drop out. And you're almost certainly going to want to wear vinyl gloves or something for that. Why do I bring that up? Because I had to use acetone to get it on my hands. I tried mineral spirits at first, thinking that maybe that it was oil-based, but in actuality, I think there's maybe a vinyl or an acrylic component in there, and it literally wasn't coming off. So I had to. Fortunately, the Reasonable Reviewer family is a big craft family, and so we have things like acetone and stuff around. But there you go. So I'm going to give it, 4 stars. I think it's a very interesting product. You can tell that it actually needs, I think, quite a bit of water to get it to spread out, and you're going to want that layer of water first. I think maybe mixing the water with a white or something. It looks like it's pretty intense though. So I was going to look at kind of 3 things. I mean, so one is miscibility. That one doesn't apply. That was an error on my part in not understanding the product. And it doesn't come with any instructions. So again, this is a voyage of discovery. So I'm going to throw out the miscibility criteria. But in terms of intense colors, it has very intense colors, and they lay on top. So I could imagine that you could, I'm looking in the black, it's not really showing up on the black, but I think any kind of a lighter color, a white, or anything like a light gray or a light yellow, light green, anything like that would allow these colors to come through. And then in terms of marbling effects, you're definitely getting some marbling. You're not getting a lot of cells, but you are getting kind of a chaotic mixture of things. So I gotta say 4 stars. 4 stars for a few reasons. I mean, overall, I like the effect. It's interesting. It's a capability I didn't have before, so it's kind of cool that I can do this now. Why the minus then? Well, for a few things. They're a little hard to use, just a little hard to use. Not 1 star, 2 star hard to use, but a little hard to use. And there's no instructions that came with them as well. And this particular set also, no primary colors. So I would say for all those reasons 4 stars. But I'm a happy person. I'm gonna learn with this set, and then I'll probably buy it again, one that has kind of more traditional primary colors, maybe some fluorescent colors, and do some fun things. But again, overall, you can see it's kind of a cool effect. So 4 stars.